Turn that beat up.
Yeah, load up. Yeah, that's all I'm trying to say. Forget about talking, I'm just gonna off them. That's it, don't got time to play. Load up.
Perspective, episode 2. This the perspective of SL, or you can call me SL Perion. Whatever you want to, just be correct. This is what I'm gonna do. We gonna get this thing started in episode 2. Yo, now we gonna go through again this 6-year-old going to school with a gun, actually shooting his teacher while the teacher was teaching. I mean, it's a crazy story. When I first heard it, I was flabbergasted, you know, I mean, to say the least. But we're gonna go through this article. It's ABC News reporting this. So this is ABC News. All right, teacher shot by 6-year-old, says school was warned 4 times, announces lawsuit. All right, now this happened out of all places, Newport News, Virginia. We're gonna get into that a little bit later. All right, on January the 6th, right? On the 6th of January. So this people know what that date means now in America. All right. Let's see if we can play the video here.
Teacher shot by her 6-year-old student, and her attorneys say she is planning to sue the school district. Alleged administrators were warned 3 times that the boy had a gun. Our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, has the latest for us. Good morning, Pierre.
Michael, good morning. We're learning new detail about the teacher's recovery, and outrage in the city continues to grow amid new allegations of flashing red warning signs somehow missed or ignored.
This morning, teacher Abby Zawirner at home, trying to heal, with a bullet still lodged in her chest, fired by that 6-year-old student.
The road to full recovery will be long.
2 weeks after the attack that shocked the nation, the Newport News teacher is breaking her silence through an attorney, accusing the school of failing to stop the violence despite multiple warnings.
3 times, school administration was warned by concerned teachers and employees that the boy had a gun on him at the school.
And stop it right there. So 3 times, this lady's saying right here, 3 times that the faculty basically had an opportunity to stop this from happening, right? Just like I said before, somebody dropped the ball. This is a classic example of ball drop. I mean, it starts with the parents, but nevertheless, this 6-year-old, this 1st grader, should not have the opportunity to even enter the goddamn school. You know, I mean, not even get past the front office with this man, but carry on.
But the administration could not be bothered.
That attorney laying out a disturbing timeline, saying it was Zawirner who first warned the school the boy had threatened to beat up another child that morning.
They didn't call security. They didn't remove the student from the classroom.
After a tip about a gun, another teacher searched the boy's backpack an hour later, but found nothing. But when the teacher warned an administrator the gun could be in the pocket, her concerns were allegedly dismissed.
The administrator downplayed the report from the teacher and the possibility of a gun, saying, and I quote, "Well, he has little pockets."
A half an hour later, Zawirner's attorney says a 3rd teacher reported a student who was crying because the 6-year-old had threatened him with the gun during recess. But again, no action. Finally, Zawirner
hold on,
claims
rewind. Hold on, man. Hold on, man.
Another concerned staffer asked,
Little pockets.
Hold on. This is what I'm talking about, guys. A lot of times when you go into these elementary schools, these middle schools, even these high schools, is the staff that's there, the principal to the vice principal to even some of the teachers, the staff in the office. These people are at times are very lazy and non-complacent. You know, just like the lady said, you think just because the kid got small pockets that Okay, so a pistol can't fit in these pockets. You better check these goddamn pockets. You see, because you not checking these pockets, you see somebody got shot. You see what I'm saying? So this is sad. Carry on.
A half an hour later, it's a witness attorney says a third teacher reported a student who was crying because the 6-year-old had threatened him with a gun during recess. But again, no action. Finally, Zerwerner claims
6-year-old threatening people with the gun.
To search the boy, but was denied. Told, wait the situation out because the school day was almost over.
Right. Yep. And just my last time. Listen, man, it's just, this is laziness. The school day's almost over. They thinking about the blunt in the car. You know what I mean? This is what the teacher's thinking about. They thinking about going home drinking their wine. They not thinking about, they like, look, this child just threatening me with the gun on the playground. Like, what are you talking about? Right then, he should have been jacked up. Right then, yo, get him. Like, what's going on? Somebody saying you got a gun? Pat him, get him. You know what I mean? But no, everybody's lazy, lackadaisical. Hey, school day's almost over. You know, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? And until somebody gets shot. Right.
Minutes later, police say the boy opened fire with a handgun he brought from home.
Come on.
Female victim, she's been shot in the abdomen as well as a through and through into the hand.
The parents of the 6-year-old suspect say he suffers from an acute disability and claim the shooting occurred during the first week he attended class without a parent. But one parent of a child in the classroom tells ABC News she's not aware of parent chaperones being allowed in class. And one substitute teacher who led the same class back in the fall says there were no parents marked present.
There was not even like a teacher's aide in the classroom.
Overnight, a decisive move.
The motion carries 5-1.
The school board voting to oust the superintendent.
Sometimes out of tragedy, it comes opportunity for growth, for change.
In response to news of the lawsuit, the boy's family attorney has released a statement saying they continue to pray for the teacher and that they wish her a complete and full recovery. But that teacher is demanding answers and accountability. George?
She deserves them. Pierre Thomas, thanks.
Man. I pray for that teacher, man. And thank God that she didn't die. I mean, this is a travesty. Abigail Zwerner. I know I messed that up. We're gonna call her Abigail Z. Abigail Z, the teacher who was shot by a student in the classroom in Newport News, Virginia earlier this month, intends to file a lawsuit against the school board, her lawyer said Wednesday, alleging the shooter could have been prevented by school administrators. Yeah, just like I said before, that's pretty damn obvious. I mean, not only the parents, but you talking about the administration. I mean, the kid actually is having the gun, actually pointing it at other students. The student is telling the teacher says, we're going to wait this thing out until the end of the day. I mean, what is that? What? Who does that? You see, so this is a complete failure from top to bottom. The announcement came the same day the school board voted to oust the district's superintendent as parents and teachers called for accountability in the wake of the shooting. Good. So yeah, get rid of that superintendent, not doing too much. Zoyner sustained a gunshot wound to the chest when a 6-year-old student brought a gun into a classroom at Rich Neck Elementary School and intentionally shot and wounded her, according to police. A bullet remains lodged in her body, according to Diane Toscano, Zoyner's lawyer. This should have never happened. It was preventable, and thank God Abby is alive. But had the school administrators act in the interest of their teachers and their students, Abby would not have sustained a gunshot wound to the chest, Toscano said at a press conference Wednesday. Toscano revealed new details about the events leading up to the shooting, alleging that school administration was warned that the student had a gun with them at school and had threatened people several times the day of the shooting, but school administrators took no action. No action. This is ridiculous. She alleged that the administration was warned 4 times by teachers and school employees about the student. There were 3 warnings from school employees about the gun, and warning from Zerner about the student threatening to harm another child, Toskino alleged. Zerner's lawyers also revealed that another teacher went into the classroom after she was shot and restrained the shooter until police arrived. I mean, come on, man. Toskino laid out a timeline of events the day of the shootings. So this is her timeline. So at around 11:15 to 11:30 a.m., Zerner went to a school administrator and told them that the 6-year-old had threatened to beat up another child that day. All right, so this 6-year-old, right, between 11:15 and 11:30 a.m., this 6-year-old student, this first grader, had already threatened to beat up another child. That same day, teacher went to the school administrator, explained that, right? So now, the administration did not take action or remove the student from the classroom, right? According to the teacher. So at 12:30 p.m., a teacher told the school administrator she searched the 6-year-old's backpack for a gun and told the administration that she believed the boy put the gun in his pocket before going outside for recess. Okay, this is at 12:30, right? So this is an hour has went past, a little bit more than an hour has elapsed, that this child can pretty much could have shot multiple people by now if this child wanted to, right? The child had the gun, loaded weapon on him. Okay, now the administrator downplayed the report and responded that the boy has little pockets. Okay, well, they 6 years old. How big you expect they goddamn pockets to be? They 6. That don't mean you ain't supposed to be checking them. I'm like, come on, man. Shortly after 1 p.m., a third teacher told administrators that another student who was scared and crying confessed that the shooters showed him a gun at recess and threatened to shoot him if he told anyone. So this kid is 6 years old with the gun. He's basically in the yard, and basically, right, with the gun, threatened to shoot other students at recess. Okay? And this is shortly after 1 p.m. So the red flag went out at 11:15. So you got 11:15, 12:15, 1:15. It's almost approaching 2 hours that this kid could have shot up the whole goddamn lunchroom by now. Okay, a fourth employee asked the administrator for permission to search the boy, but was denied and was told to wait the situation out because the school day was almost over. It wasn't over at 11:15. We've been trying to get this boy since 11:15 this morning. Come on. Zerner, or the teacher, I know I'm destroying the last name, she was shot almost an hour later. So about 2 o'clock, about an hour shortly after 1, so about an hour, about the end of school, she was shot. Now she's at home recovering, but the road to recovery will be long. Okay? On behalf of the family of the child, we continue to pray for Mrs. Zerner and wish a complete and full recovery. Our hearts go out to all involved. James Ellenson, an attorney for the family of the 6-year-old who allegedly shot Zerner, said in a statement in response to Toskino's remarks. All right. A representative for Newport News Schools declined to comment on the allegations made by Zerner's attorney, noting that the school's division's investigation into the incident is still ongoing, but said the school is under new leadership. Karen Lynch, the extended learning supervisor, is now serving as the administrator at Rich Neck on special assignment and coordinating the students' return to instruction. Rich Neck Elementary School will reopen to all students on January 30th, which is Monday, January the 30th. The press conference came hours before the Newport News Board held a special meeting to vote on a separation agreement with Newport News Public Schools Superintendent George Parker III. The board voted 5-1 to relieve Parker as superintendent without cause effective February 1st. Good news. See, action is within weeks. Action is being implemented. The ball is rolling. Okay, you already outed people. You already basically put responsibility on certain people and certain individuals. They have been relieved of their duties. Things are changing, and as well as it should be changing, because somebody has to be held accountable for this. This is ridiculous. Parker is a capable division leader who has served Newport News for nearly 5 years through some extremely challenging circumstances. Lisa Searles Law, the school board's chair, said following the vote, "This decision is based on the future trajectory and needs of our school division." The board elected Michelle Mitchell to serve as interim superintendent in a 5-1 vote. Parker and school administrators have been under fire from teachers, parents, and community members since the shooting, who say the administration has failed to address student behavior and ignored teacher concerns. The boy, who has not been named publicly, allegedly took a handgun from his home, put it in his backpack, and brought it to school that day before shooting his teacher in an intentional act, according to the Newport News Police Department. Police said Zurners was teaching class that afternoon when the student pointed the gun at her and fired one round. The teacher took a defensive position, raising her hand. The bullet went through her hand and into her chest, police said. There was no physical struggle or fight, according to police. After Zurner was shot, she ushered all of her students out of the classroom. She was the last person to leave the room, police said. About 16 to 20 students were in the classroom at the time of the shooting, and none of them were physically injured, according to police. The police said responding officers found a school employee physically restraining the 6-year-old suspect in the classroom. The boy allegedly hit the school employee before officers took him to custody. This boy hitting the school employee. You go shoot somebody in the chest and then hit somebody. He was subsequently taken to a local hospital for he needs for evaluation. You might not need to let him out, honestly, if he's going to do all of that. He's completely conscious of what he's doing. Since then, a temporary detention order has been obtained, and the child is currently receiving treatment at a medical facility, according to police. Newport News Police Chief Steve Drew has called Zurner a hero who saved lives. He told reporters that the teacher has repeatedly asked how her students are doing. Newport News Police told ABC News that the investigation is ongoing and that they do not know when it will be completed. When asked about the allegations made by Zurner, they declined to comment due to the ongoing nature of the investigation. The teachers union also did not comment on the announcement of a lawsuit. The Virginia Education Association continues to support our member, Abby Zurner, in every way that we can during her physical and emotional recovery from the shooting at Richneck Elementary School. She was a true hero that day. Questions about the legal ramifications of this tragic event should be directed to her attorney, Kevin Rogers, Director of Communications for the Virginia Education Association, told ABC News in a statement. Zurner was released from Riverside Regional Medical Center in Newport News last week and will continue to receive outpatient treatment, according to Riverside Health System. Police said the investigation into the January 6th incident, including a motive, is ongoing, and no one has been charged so far. Richneck Elementary School has remained closed in the meantime. The 9mm Taurus pistol used in the shooting was legally purchased by the boy's mother, according to police. During a town hall meeting with parents earlier this month, Parker said the student's backpack was searched at school the morning of January 6th after someone reported he may have had a weapon. The person who searched the backpack didn't find a weapon. Ball drop number 1. According to the superintendent, it was unclear who conducted the search. what they need to find out, or who or how the tip about the weapon was received. Of course, they're going to try to bury that information, but that information definitely needs to come out, and whoever searched that bag needs to get fired. Everybody that touched that kid that morning needs to get fired. When asked for comment, a police spokesman told ABC News, "We have determined through our investigation that a school employee was notified of a possible firearm at Richneck Elementary before the shooting occurred." What? The Newport News Police Department was not notified of this information prior to the incident. "I cannot release any further information at this time because of the ongoing investigation." Early this month, Newport News School Board Chair Lisa Searles Law said they have been given approval to purchase 90 walk-through metal detectors. Okay, so just treat the kids like criminals. That the parent, well, not the parents, but the school administrators and the adult authoritative figures, especially, well, starting with the parents initially, but that weapon shouldn't have gotten that far. That initial search of the book bag should have brought up the weapon. Police should have been notified. That student should have been walked out calmly out the front door. Issue solved. But because that didn't occur, now we have this. Okay, so these metal detectors, which will be installed in every school across the district, starting with Richneck Elementary School. The district will also bolster protocols on handling school violence, including implementing a safety stand down and reviewing student conduct and discipline records, according to Searles Law. The unnamed family of the boy released a statement last week saying the firearm our son accessed was secured and that he suffers from acute disability and was under a care plan at the school that included his mother or father attending school with him and accompanying him to every class every day. Nah, you can't. No, I know what an IEP is. I know what the plan is. This boy, nah, it wasn't secured. If the firearm was secured, he wouldn't have got it. How the shit was secured and he got it? He's 6. So if he was secured, if the firearm was secured and a 6-year-old was able to still access it, then what did you buy? Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. You can't blame. No, you have to blame yourself. Somebody has to blame themselves. This is ridiculous. This is appalling. The week of the shooting was the first week when we were not in class with him. Okay, well, you should have been in class with him. And he got a gun. "We will regret our absence on this day for the rest of our lives," the family said. "Since this incident, our son has been under hospital care and receiving the treatment he needs." Nah, somebody got to pay. The boy's family called the shooting horrific and noted that they have been cooperating with local and federal law enforcement to understand how this could have happened. "Our heart goes out to our son's teacher, and we pray for her healing in the aftermath of such an unimaginable tragedy as she selfishly served our son and the children in the school," they added. "She has worked diligently and compassionately to support our family as we sought the best education and learning environment for our son. We thank her for her courage, grace, and sacrifice." All right. So at the end of this all, it's number one, it's a travesty, it's a tragedy, and it's sad. Okay. You have a kid that woke up one morning. According to the parent, the gun was secure, but evidently the 6-year-old, the first grader, still was able to access this weapon. According to the parent, they're supposed to be at school with him. So if that's the case, as soon as that child was not at school with the parent, if you guys was at school with him all along, right then should have been a red flag. Okay, so where's your parents? They not here this morning? You see what I'm saying? Right before he get inside the school, he shouldn't even be allowed in class. If you okay, because we used to see your parents with you. So where's your parents today? So this kid was basically allowed to be in class. The kid came to class, actually came late to school that day. He came late. His book bag was searched. Red flag right there. That person should have found that weapon. The weapon was not found. It's a 9mm. So I mean, it's I don't understand how other kids can see the weapon, but a grown adult can't find the weapon. But nevertheless, the kid was allowed to go to the classroom with a loaded weapon and basically be in a class all day with other children with a loaded weapon. He was in recess. Is reports of other children, saying that, look, this kid has a gun. And he pointed to me at, in recess. Nothing was done. From my understanding, the shooting took place about 2 o'clock. So it was pretty much the end of the day. It was 11:15 when the teacher first told the school administration regarding this weapon that this child possibly could have had. So, I mean, the ball was dropped the whole day. Not to mention, this is January 6th, which is very interesting. And we'll talk about that later on a later episode. But this overall, this is very, very, very scary, to say the least. Anybody that has kids, small children, elementary school, I mean, my God, it's like we're gonna put bulletproof vests on the kids now, and then we gotta have metal detectors at every school. This is the only thing they have to do. I mean, yeah, you gotta fire the people that was involved, but I mean, still try to make it to where it's not a prison for these kids. And that's overall, man. Don't treat the kids like it's a damn prison, and it's not the kid's fault. It was one kid that was out of bounds, and that should have been stopped. Okay, and whoever was touched that kid that morning need to be fired. Okay, need to be let go. And I think that school district is doing all of that that they need to do to make those necessary changes. But putting these metal detectors, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that would deter things, obviously, but I mean, look at the overall. I mean, this is this this is not like a common event. I mean, not at elementary schools. Maybe shootings, middle schools, high schools. Elementary is a different thing. I mean, of course, you had people coming into elementary school shooting the school, but very rarely you have a elementary school student, bringing weapons inside. So I mean, hopefully this will be the last that we hear this year. The year started off, extremely just turned up. I mean, it just turned up. This whole thing is just a complete drop ball. It just complete drop ball. It definitely could have been prevented, and it's sad all the way around. I hope the teacher completely recover. I hope that she'll sue everybody. She needs to sue everybody. She's lawyered up, and I mean, I just pray for her recovery, and I just I pray and hope that somebody is culpable, that they just don't blame the child. This child is actually in the playground, threatening other kids. So this child ain't too crazy. This child know what he is doing. You see what I'm saying? So it's I mean, this child is conscious of what's going on. You see what I'm saying? So it's sad all the way around. Like I said, man, I hope for the complete recovery of the teacher. And man, this is the Perion Perspective, man. I'm out.